Happy New Year and welcome to Laurice's Kitchen. Tonight I'm making black bean soup with spicy pork skewers. But I'm also going to be showing you a grilled vegetable skewer as a completely vegan option to this chili flavored soup. To get this soup started, I have 4 15-ounce cans of black beans that I've drained and rinsed. I also have 6 cups of vegetable broth, but you could use chicken broth, along with 2 bay leaves. This is all going in this pot and it's going to simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. That just leaves us with the skewers. For the vegetable skewers, I've got yellow summer squash and zucchini that I've cut into 3/4 inch thick rounds. Now I have used the smallest specimens I can find. For the pork skewers, we've got pork tenderloin that I've cleaned, trimmed of all that fat, trimmed of the tendon, and cut away the silver skin. Those have been then cut into 1-inch cubes. The kielbasa is fresh kielbasa that I've parboiled and then cut into 1-inch thick pieces. It doesn't matter whether you're grilling vegetables or meat. They all get seasoned with this spice rub. For that, we're going to need 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of dark chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. This is all getting mixed together, and once we thread the food onto the skewers, it gets dusted on top. Regardless of whether you're skewering vegetables or pork, we need to soak the skewers in water for about 15 minutes. Now for the vegetables, I'm going to be using these flat bamboo skewers to keep them from spinning as much, and for the pork, I'll just be using the round bamboo skewers. To flavor this soup, we're going to be making a sofrito. That's sautéed in a skillet and added to the soup later on. For that, we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of olive oil and sauté 1 medium onion that's been diced fine. We'll also be adding 3 to 4 cloves of garlic minced fine, 1 tablespoon paprika, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of oregano, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, and 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne. Off heat, we'll be stirring in 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar along with 14 ounces of diced tomatoes in their liquid. Now that this has started simmering, we'll set the timer for 30 minutes. Alright, we're just going to sweat this down in this oil, so we're putting this in the pan cold. Okay, I've got this pan on over medium-low heat. I don't want this onion to get too brown. We'll be adding in the garlic in just a few minutes. Okay, we can add in this garlic. Okay, I'm going to saute this for about 2 to 3 minutes. I don't want the garlic to get brown, but I do want it to completely soften. Now that this is nicely softened, we can add in all these spices. And we're also going to season this with just a little bit of salt. And we're going to saute this for about 1.5 minutes. We want to cook these spices. Okay, we're going to turn off the heat and add in the vinegar and the tomatoes. Once I get this all stirred together, I'm going to mash it slightly with the potato masher. Okay, we're just going to skewer 3 of these at a time. So 2 green zucchini and 1 yellow summer squash. And we want these to stay close to the end. These also are going to stay close to the top. And we're going to alternate with the pork and the kielbasa, and then the other one is going to be kielbasa and pork. There's about 20 minutes left on those beans to simmer. I'm going to turn on my grill and get it preheated to about medium hot. I don't want this scorching hot because these meat pieces are pretty small and so are these vegetables. I've sprayed these vegetable skewers with just a little bit of nonstick cooking spray. It'll keep the vegetables from sticking and help the spice rub to adhere to these vegetables. want to make sure that we dust both sides with the seasoning. The same with the meat skewers. These we don't have to coat with any nonstick cooking spray. We'll be grilling both the vegetables and the meat for 3 minutes aside. Now, to keep these open bamboo skewers from burning, I'm going to turn off that front burner. Now that these beans are done simmering, we're going to fish out these bay leaves and discard those. They're done. We're going to take out about 1.5 cups of beans and reserve those whole. The rest is going in the blender to be pureed. All right, whenever we blend hot soup, we have to put a towel over top because this will lift up. Press down hard. Okay, we're going to return all the beans and the pureed beans back to the pan, and then we'll add the sofrito in. Okay, I'm just stirring this to combine. My skewers are done. If you haven't cooked your skewers yet, you can just keep this over very low heat to stay warm while you cook your skewers. It's time to give this black bean soup and these skewers a taste. You can see my vegan counterpart over here, and I've got it topped with just a little fresh pico de gallo. Tastes like chili. Let's see here, something about skewers.